Because nobody's like you.
Now, the material we're going to cover today is all about how to stay in your authentic, thriving zone and dealing with conflict and compassionate communication. And I'd like to start the class today by sharing a story with you. A story I heard several years ago, and I don't remember where, but I think it's a true story. I call it the meat pan story. So the story goes like this. A woman was cooking dinner one night, and her daughter was over helping her. And they were working in the kitchen together, and the mother did what she always did. She took the roast out of the refrigerator and set it on the counter so it would get to room temperature before she sliced the end of it off, and then she put the roast in the pan and put it in the oven. Now, that particular night, her daughter turned to her and said, "Mom, why is it that you always cut the end of the roast off before you put the meat in the oven?" And the woman thought about it for a minute and she said, "You know what? I don't know. That's just what my mother always did." Well, her mother was no longer alive to ask, nor was her grandmother, but they did eventually track down a number from a great aunt that they had lost contact with but had lived to a very old age and was still alive. And it turned out that through 3 generations worth, everybody in this, all the women in this family were cutting off the end of the meat before putting it in the pan and putting it in the oven because the great grandmother's roasting pan was too small. Like I said, I believe this is a true story. And I think it's a really good way to illustrate how instead of just doing things out of habit and by rote, we really want to look at what is most important to our authentic nature and keep our actions in alignment with that part of ourselves. This is an example of the seed of the soul exercise, a term I got from Barry Dennis, whom I interviewed in my January 5th, 2015 blog, if you'd like to go back and read that. Now, this one was done last June in my full 2-day authentic expression workshop, and I just want you to take a look at some of these words here, like congruence, acceptance, respect, authenticity, and love. And you might also notice that ocean is there, and bird song. Now, what the seed of the soul exercise really is it's a way to identify our deepest values. And how many of us ever actually take the time to do that? Well, if you want no more meat pan stories for you, this is a really good exercise. So I'm going to give it to you as a suggested action step. When you take the time to write down what is most important to you deep in your heart of hearts, then you can weigh the activities in your life, things that you're involved in, people that you're spending time with, against really the value system that you hold true in your heart. So I, for example, really liked the fact that the ones we came up with in this workshop were not just things like love and respect, compassion, spiritual growth, and that kind of thing, but because I'm such an outdoor nature girl, I loved the fact that somebody said ocean. Well, there's a reason that those of us live on the West Coast, close to the ocean. If that's important to you, you should live somewhere where you can go to the ocean on a regular basis. Birdsong I love because, you know, me and my God walks, I love to go outside and spend time in nature. So take the time, just draw a big circle and jot down those values that are most important to you and your authentic nature.
Because nobody's like you.